let the shoulders come forward and up. And as you exhale, bring your shoulders back and down, a nice squeeze. So you just make these healthy circles and try to soften your jaw as you begin your little warm up here at the beginning of the practice. And allow the priority to be your breath to movement, right? So the inhale lets the shoulders come forward and up. And exhale lets them come back and down. Inhale forward and up. And exhale back and down. And then take your hands, you guys, and just bring your fingertips to connect. So it's just the tips of the fingers. Your hands get really wide and your elbows will spread. Yeah, it's called globe hands. Bring a little bend into the knees. And as you widen your elbows, now widen your ribs, go side to side. So kind of like a dog wagging its tail out of happiness and joy. Wag your own heart. Fingertips are light and the ribs have a buoyancy to it. So this practice today is going to be all about dynamic movement as we flow, as we move. Is not so much to be static too often. We'll do a few static asana postures, but really to find this flow in the inner body, much like the waves of the ocean. Bring your arms, stretch them out in front of you, straight out in front. Let the head come down and push the ribs back. So letting the belly hollow was the first part of the core work. And the inhale, hands to the sky, stretch and open up the belly, open up the heart to the front. And then exhale again, round your back, take the hands down, curl the belly in, tuck the chin in, squeeze the front body. And on your inhale, rise back up with the body, take a safe little back bend. You just move with your breath, low to high, crunching the front to opening the front. Adding any little movements in that help you feel yourself in space and in time, in this unique time. Yeah, like that. Now, next time you come down, put your hands on your knees as you bend your knees backwards. So just a supported chair pose. Push your knees forward into your hands and then push the hips back and wide. So the pelvic floor starts to open more. Now as you wag the ribs, this time wag your tail, your actual tail. Shift the hips left and right. Maybe even making kind of swirly motions with the hips, like a figure 8 shape perhaps, or honestly any movement that stimulates this dynamic opening of the pelvic floor. Yeah, it's really a powerful posture. It's maybe like what you would do if you were going to jump, right? There's an effort, there's an ease in the effort. Take an inhale here. And then we'll forward fold, separate the feet rather wide, ragdoll pose, hold opposite elbows, allow your head to dangle, and then wag your ribs, go side to side in a nice easy forward fold. Yeah, nice, you guys. Breathe, dangle the head, bend the knees as much as you need to feel not too much strain on the hamstrings, and keep an engagement in the core to stabilize the spine. On your inhale, put your hands on your shins, arch the back, come up halfway, pressing the crown of your head forward and really long into your neck. Exhale, place your hands and step back to plank pose. Ensure there's space between each finger. And once the legs are stepped back, pull the rib cage forward. Take 5 full breaths in plank. Avoid drooping your head. Alternatively, think of it just like a standing posture, mountain pose, if you will. There's a length in addition to the strength. 2 more full rounds of breath. Good job, you guys. For this first one, we're going to go a little easy. So just put the knees down first, and then bend your elbows, bringing the chest to the floor, and then your chin. Hover the hands, point your legs, baby cobra. No usage of the hands. Inhale, hover up. Exhale to release down. Again, inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down and continue about 5 more here. I'll get some beats going for us. Let me know if the music seems to interfere too much with the sound of you being able to hear me, okay, you guys? And the next time you lift, you're gonna use your hands. So actually place the hands by the ribs and rise all the way up, taking that fullest cobra. Rotate the head a little side to side like it's bobbing in the ocean. Soften your jaw, lengthen, lengthen. As you exhale, return all the way down to your yoga mat. Push down, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog becomes your exhale. First dog of this. Pedal out your legs. Take any little movements that you enjoy, or honestly, sometimes some stillness is exactly what we need. So always that invitation to make this practice your own, right? You're in your home. You're in your space, you and your space. For safety, ensure all the fingers, all 10 fingers, pushing down evenly. Arching the spine upward, belly is long. On your own, next inhale, lift your heels up high. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float to the front of your mat. Let's go a little space between the feet for today. Inhale, lift halfway, hands slide up the shins, stretch your back out. And exhale, easy forward fold. Inhale, stand. Raise your arms up super tall, all the way above your head. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Let's go again. Inhale, raise the arms out and up, full body stretch, little back bend if you like it. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold to the earth. Inhale, lift, lengthen, halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale for plank pose. Again, we're gonna hold it briefly, not quite as long as last time, but at least 3 to 4 breaths. Stimulate through the legs by pushing the feet back. So it's as if you're still standing on your feet. Knees can come down first as an option. Otherwise, pull forward, take chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, point through the feet, arch the spine, lift the ribs up high. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. Taking breaths here, enjoy the momentum that's built. Right, the beginning of the class is not the same as the 10 minutes in to the 20 minutes in. So there's the inevitable invitation for patience, for layering, for discovery. Okay, inhale, lift your heels up high again. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float to your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hips wide and behind you. Exhale, easy fold. Inhale, stand up, use your legs so it's not all in the low back. Raise your arms up super high. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, arms out and up, full stretch. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at your hip joints. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step to plank and hold it again. Steady and slow. Squeeze the muscles into the bones, lengthen through the crown. And then chaturanga, option to use the knees, always there. Upward dog, inhale, stretch through the spine, the crown of the head up, heels hug together. Exhale, downward dog, float over the feet. All right, you guys, now in your dog, I'm gonna ask you to bend your knees a little bit, kind of like a chair pose, just a little. And begin to wag your tail again. So arc the hips left, and then up and over like a rainbow, arc your hips to the right. So you do these little arcs side to side, moving, wagging the hips oppositionally up and away from your rib cage. Yeah, Melissa. So it's this side body bend you're starting to initiate from the pelvic floor. Yeah, that's it. Nice, you guys find center. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float to the front of your yoga mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, big release down. Chair pose, have some space between your feet for today, and raise the arms. And now let's do a little play. Take your hands behind your knees. So these are the hollows of the knees. Yeah, with your fingers, you can feel how that kind of cups in there when you're bent. Push your knees forward a bit. And then behind that, push the hips back more. So the effort is to maximize this distance, back knee to pelvic floor. Keeping that, arms back up. 5 more breaths. 5 more breaths. Hi, Kim. You can do it. Deep on the inhale. Full on the exhale. Nice, Melissa. Steadiness due to the pelvic floor, holding body steadily. Mountain pose, stand up tall. You can soften the arms by your sides. All right, inhale, open the belly, do a bit of a cow pose, standing. And then exhale, round your back, little cat pose and standing. And with your own breath, a handful more. Inhale, opening sort of these spinal movements, simple, curvy, and open. You just dynamically awaken. Servicing the arms, take your palms out in front of you like so. Broaden your ribs on all sides. Yeah, take the elbows narrow and the hands wider and wider, wider and wider until they're more by your sides. Cool. Then releasing the hips, take the hips a little deeper, but lift the ribs a little higher, adding distance between the hips and the heart. Now we go into a back bend, check it. Push down with your arms to lift up through the crown of your head, making shape and space. Do 3 more. Exhale, liquefy the pelvis towards the floor. It's like liquid chocolate, heavy and low. Push down with your arms like you have 2 countertops to push down onto, to dynamically rise up on your own. Soften the jaw and lay way back into the power of yourself. Good. Next time you sit down, raise your arms up, more traditional chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, release the spine. Let's dangle for a moment, release any intensity that may have shown up for you in that little back bend practice. Good, you guys. And then take the hands on the shins, half lift, stretch the spine super long. Exhale for plank pose, step or hop the legs to the back of your yoga mat. Inhale, pull the chest forward an inch. Exhale, chaturanga, bend the elbows, use your knees if you like. Inhale, open the chest, stretch through the pelvis, stretch through the crown. Exhale, downward dog. Okay, let's level up. Lift your right leg, bend the knee, and do some healthy movements of that leg in the air. Low to high, making circles and pumping through the power of the hips. And we'll switch legs. So place the right foot down and lift your left leg up. And similarly, little movements, a little fluidity. Wide in the pelvis, long in the belly. Coming back to the center. Lower your knees to the ground. Point your feet. And then bring the hands off the ground onto your hips. So we're just going to stand on our knees, basically. Cool. Again, we want to add length. So use your hands to encourage rooting down through the hips. Lift the heart up. Take full breaths uniformly into the lungs as you little bit lay back into the back body. Baby back bend. Open the throat, part the teeth. Keeping that openness, bring your arms out in front of you like we started with in class. Keep the hips moving back and the ribs full on all sides. Twist both arms over to the right. Bring the right hand and tap the right heel. Inhale, rise back up, full inhale. Exhale, crunch, twist to the left. Hips root back, touch the left heel. We'll try a few more. And the goal with this, you guys, even as you're in the twist, belly stays open. Ribs are moving from the base, the T12. Ribs stay full, belly stays long, throat stays open. Next time we come up from the left side, put your hands on your hips, more traditional camel. Let's get into the core. Engage and lift up through the center line. Stay here. Optionally reach back for your heels. Don't dump in your spine. Prioritize a lift of the ribs up and away. Lay back and breathe. And inhale, rising back up. Hands can support your hips. Exhale, all fours. Cat cow here, rounding the back at first, curling the belly in. Up, open, inhale, stretch, baby back bend. Down and up you go with the fluidity of your breath. Again, one that's more reflective of nature. One that acknowledges that these bodies of ours are connected to the natural world. They're made of the natural world, right? We're water, we're fire, we're air. Cool. One of my favorite poses from here. Let's do it. You take your left leg straight back. When that feels steady, extend your right arm long and forward. So simple, a little balance. Stay here or reach back for your foot with your hand. You can't quite find it behind you. It's okay to lower the leg, find it a little bit back behind the hip, then rise back up like a dancer's pose. Find the dynamic movement here. So instead of static, exhale, bend the left knee, sit the hips more back. Inhale, broaden the ribs more forward and up. Left hand gets lighter. Left hand not so heavy. Exhale, root, inhale, rise. As you gently release, go long extension, left hand to the right foot, full stretch. 3 crunches, here you go. Elbow to the knee, pull and drag it in, nice and tight. Inhale, re-extend, go long. Exhale, draw it in for a nice crunch. One more time, full inhale long. And a full exhale in. Do one more reach out, finishing in an extension. And then exhale, place everything on the ground, downward facing dog. Curl the toes, lift the hips. Broaden the elbows to widen the rib cage. Then pulling forward, try this. As the knees return to the ground, keep the pelvis on the rise. So the knees land so soft. Right leg goes back, the left foot can point. Lean into the right hand, extend your left arm long. Stay here or back bend. Reach for the bind. If you can't find the foot in the air, lower it behind your left hip. Find it and then kick right back up. Yeah, you can do it. Now instead of just holding it, exhale, focus on the hips rooting back. Yeah, inhale, pull the ribs forward and up. So it's like, and keep going with your breath. It's like evolution, right? We want to evolve forward and up, not tucked and down. Efforting the ribs up and oppositionally away from your healthy hips. In, let's do it. Gently release, but don't go to the floor yet. Extend long, inhale. Exhale to crunch, bring the elbow and the knee to tap, please. Twice more, inhale, full stretch. Exhale, deep crunch. Last round, full stretch. Deep crunch. We'll finish on extension, so go long. And then return to all fours, just in time to find down dog right away. Curl those toes, lift your hips up. 5 breaths. Widen the pelvic floor. Literally broaden your elbows laterally, so the sides of the ribs that we opened in the beginning of practice, keep that openness so it's dynamic. It's not so static. Okay, from here, listen carefully. Bend your knees a little bit and swivel the knees to the right and the hips arc to the left. Then lift your right leg and bring your right hand to the tips of the fingers. Ride a bicycle with the right leg. Push the leg into extension and then drag it back in. Do it again. So it's a bit of a side arm balance, but the hips are not scooped under you. They're pushed back and wide. Yeah. Now step the right foot through behind the right hand. Draw the left heel to the ground, pointing the foot out to the side, and slide your hands back. Fingertips on the floor inside of your right foot. Widen the hips. left to right. This is called tribal pose. It's not static. It would be what you might do if you were a sumo wrestler and there's a power behind you, giving length to the spool of the belly. Keeping that, lift a bit, put the right elbow on the right leg for some stability. Yeah, you guys. And then from the left ribs, lift your left arm overhead, arcing the head to the right. On your exhale, sit the hips behind you way more. On the inhale, squeeze the core, make the space longer from tail to crown. Couple more pulses. Exhale, sit the hips back. Inhale, lengthen ribs off of the hips. Exhale, sit the hips back. Inhale, lengthen. And then we'll bring the hands back down to the ground. Stay here for a moment. Bend the knees deeply, both knees bend. Sit the hips more back and wide, power pose. That's it. Now place the hands in front of the right foot. Lift the left leg out to the side. Begin to pedal and move that left leg, again, bicycle riding style. I'll turn my angle so you might see a bit better. Pumping the effort of the left leg high to the sky. Yeah, dynamic. Now here's the fun part. They're called switch kicks. Place the hands flat, left knee to the side, hop and switch. Hop and switch. Keep switching your feet left to right. Maybe finding a little bit of air time in the middle. And as a side note, you guys, it's a bit cartwheel feely. Yeah. But make it less about legs high. Make it more about pelvis high. Couple more if you have it in you. And then we'll take a squat. Toes out, hips low, hands to the heart. Catch your breath. Up and down. Push the elbows wide into the knees and push the knees into the elbows. So there's a relationship you're building. Knees narrow, elbows out, helps to widen the pelvic floor. And breathe into that. Get a wide-legged forward fold, touch down, straighten your legs, turn your feet more parallel. Peace fingers, grab your big toes. Inhale, stretch your spine forward, go for lots of length in your back. Exhale, bend your elbows, forward fold. Take a few breaths here, letting the spine release. Crown to earth, tail to sky. Observing the delight of letting go a bit, especially after a sequence that asks us to basically do the opposite, to really turn on the whole body, to ask all parts to participate. Fun. Gently release your toes. Take a nice little halfway lift, stretching your spine. And a little chaturanga flow of your choice. Step or hop back. If you prefer to just find your down dog, that's cool. Otherwise, many of you told me you want to work, so let's do it. Take your chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Okay, now it starts with a swivel of the hips. So knees go left, tip the hips to the right. The right foot will angle in. Then you lift your left leg up and pump it and move the energy. Awaken the tissues by way of pumping and moving through it. And then also go range of motion, right? It's not just, can I lift my leg and move it? There's that range of motion there for the health of my healthy hips. Hi, you guys. Then, so lightly, you'll take that foot and place it behind your left hand. Spin the right heel in, both knees bent, and slide your hands back. Tribal pose, okay? Move the hips side to side. And as a helpful hint, if you're to peek over your left shoulder, you would actually see your glutes. You would see the booty. It's not scooped underneath you. It's going wide. Yeah, it's like you're on a horse. There's space, there's dynamism, and you can go side to side, finding all different types of potential tension or whatever is in your hips. Now put the left elbow on the left leg, and from the right ribs, rise the right ribs over the left. So it's a twist. On the exhale, bend both knees and slide your sitting bones back and wide. And on your inhale, reach the rib cage away from the hips. Right, so the exhale, the emphasis is the rooting. And the inhale, the emphasis is the length. Full stretch through the center, from the pelvic floor, through the crown of your head. That's the sweet spot. We're working in balance, in healthy relationship to itself. And from here, you're going to take the hands back to the ground. Domes. So it's just the tips of the fingers in front of the left foot. Lift the right leg as I'm showing. And don't worry so much about how high the leg itself goes. Bring your knee a little more narrow down, but widen your booty more. Get the hips wider. Then pump the leg. Push, pull. We call it dig, drag. And it's as if riding a bicycle with the right leg slowly uphill, and you start to kinetically become more aware of all the strength behind you to discover. Yeah. Good, Kim. Place the hands now. Get ready. We're going to do the switch kicks again. Knee to the side. Hop, switch. Hop, switch. Elbows stay wide. Pelvis stays lifted. Yeah, breaks are always invited. No stress. Hopping right, hopping left. Looking to land lightly as we go. To the deep squat. Again, finishing this side as we did the other. Turn the toes out. This time let the hands come down and the arms are just inside your knees. Do a gentle little dynamic sway from right to left. As you go to the right, narrow the knee, widen the sitting bone. As you go to the left, narrow the knee, widen the sitting bone. Fluid, water, and our bodies are made up of fascial tissue, myofascia, which is largely made of water. So we're these fluid beings. Cool, another forward fold, so we'll touch the earth. Extend your legs, turn the feet forward. This time slide your hands below your feet from the front as far as you can, Padahastasana. If your toes can touch your wrist creases, that's cool. If you can't quite get it, it's okay. Now we'll add a half lift, so bend the knees a bit. Lengthen your spine forward, away from the hips. And then as you exhale, forward fold, bend your elbows out to the sides. Really go for that dangling feeling. The ribs to the earth, the tail to the sky. It's a kind redefinition to the body. Yeah, staying here, just kindly loving even the tighter parts of the body, or the parts of the body that have given us some challenges. Loving every part. It's a part of our story. Super cool. We're going to curl up super slow. So unhook your toes, bend your knees, squeeze the low belly in a ton. Rise up one vertebrae at a time. Keep the core engaged. So important. Once you're vertical, let's go big with the arms like you have big wings. Behind you, inhale forward and up. Or back and up, I mean. Exhale forward and down. There's just some super big arm circles like that. And make the observation, split the energy. So the awareness needs to be this, that the legs are still crucial. As the arms are doing these huge circles, the legs aren't asleep. There's a rootedness, there's a dynamicness. A steady downward power will give more space for the rise. Yeah, next time your arms are up, reach the right hand higher, let the right side body get so long, and then do the other side, left arm higher. It's much like if you were outside and picking fruit from a tree that, everything was a bit almost out of reach. You have to put the whole body into it. And then you can make these really big side bends if you like. Observe, the more you root the earthy part of your body, the legs, there will be a definite increase in the ability your spine has to lengthen. Yeah, strong legs equals longer spine. Earth pose, mountain pose, arms come down by your sides. Let's be still just for a moment here. No movements other than the fullness of the breath, the wholeheartedness of the breath, even the vulnerability of the breath, not always being sure of what might come up when we get that connected. Allow your eyes to softly open. Bend both of your knees. Lean more into the left foot and lift the right foot in the air. Cross the ankle above your left knee, figure 4. As you sit down, let's just touch the leg at first with the hands. And really push the hips back. So the same thing, you guys stay here. Same thing I showed at the beginning of class. Back knee to the pelvis, making that longer. Same thing here, push the knees in the frontal plane of you for the hips to sit more back. Cool, we're gonna do a back bend with this pose. Are you ready? So you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna hold the sides of your head for a little more support. Bring the elbows narrow, it'll help the ribs stay full. Exhale, sit into the hips. Inhale, rise the crown of the head up towards the sky, gazing and lifting. On the exhale, re-root the legs. Don't bring the head down, just root the hips again. Inhale, rise up, stretch all the way up. Do 3 to 4 more pulses. Every time you go up and back, maybe the eyes find another few inches of back bend. Again, it's this relationship. The more the hips sit down, the more access you'll have to this rise up and back. Inhale, find your way back to mountain pose. Maybe losing your balance. Find a bit of stillness, but add the dynamism of the breath. Elbows can go wide so the ribs are super full. Left side, so we'll bend the knees first. It's kind of a chair pose flotation. Sit the hips back, femur bones move to the hamstrings. That's it, Ali. Then dig, drag, hover the left foot, cross the ankle above the knee, figure 4, and we'll just sit into it really simply at first, noticing a good stretch of the hip. Then push both knees forward. As the knees push forward, sit the hips more back. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Hold the sides of the head. Get ready, keep the rootedness of the hips, and rise yourself up and back to a little back bend. Exposing the belly and the throat. Exhale, lower, inhale, rise, but not collapsing the ribs. To the back of the heart, when you get to that apex place, when you're at the very top of the back bend, the ribs are lifting up. They're not falling down. So clutch and dynamic movement, yeah. If it's still a little bit new languaging for you, all good. Openness and education, now's the time. Whew. Inhale, finding center. Mountain pose, calm the breath. Good, next balance will be our tree pose, or more traditional. Lean into the left foot, hover the right foot. Place the foot either on your calf muscle, or if you want to go a little higher, I highly encourage you to use your hand. So you get the heel up into the upper thigh. Do not place your foot on the inner part of your knee. Hands can either go to prayer pose at the heart, or you might play with some lift. And with the theme of the practice, let's play with dynamism if you wish. Hug the legs together with so much power. Keep the hips rooted so effectively that the arms can play. Like a tree in a windy forest. Right, the rootedness down below, the earth, gives us rise to healthy sky. It might not always be perfect. We may lose it and have to come back. I do too. But it's the practice that makes it the delight. It's not being perfect. Let's switch sides immediately for good, healthy brain challenge. So as soon as the right foot lands, land it light. Lift the left foot, place it on the calf, or use your hand to get it above the knee. Do not put your foot on the knee joint. Hands can totally stay at the heart, breathing here, finding your drishti, perhaps play. And what you'll notice is the more you let the hips root back versus scooping the tail under excessively and letting the thigh bones pop forward, instead of that, let the hips root back and even wide, like I've been sharing with you today. And you sit into that and you squeeze leg to leg, the arms can really dance and play. And the littlest bit of imbalance in life, it might throw you for a loop, but it doesn't haul you over. The reaction is powerful. Finding center, we'll hold the mountain pose for a bit longer this time. As soon as the left foot lands, try to land it softly to your surface. And take a full breath in. And open the mouth to let the breath go out. Let's do that again. Inhale, get super full. Notice when you inhale, the ribs lift. I'm gonna ask you to keep them lifted even as you do the exhale. And then try that one more time and notice the efficacy of that inhale. Naturally, there's a lift. It doesn't have to go away on the exhale. Keep yourself buoyant. Exhale. You know, I do a little walk, so bend the knees a little bit. Sit the hips behind you, take the ribs more forward. I want you to step forward and backward in your space. We call this a walking kata. And as you step, increase and you go forward and back on your mat or wherever you're at in your home or in your outdoor space. Maybe your feet are on the grass, that's cool. Let your bottoms of the feet really feel sensitively. When you go backwards, you can even slide your feet. Slide them on the surface. Our feet can be so hardened to sensitivity, especially us climbers with our tight climbing shoes, but really all of the human race. We wear shoes all the time, so we want to sensitize more to the liquidness of the feet. Then keeping that, we'll do this next one, find center, wherever you're at on your mat is fine. Step wide sensitively. Let's get back in the camera. And then step wide with sensitivity. Good, step narrow. Arms out in front, step narrow. Try again, other foot leads if you remember. Step wide, sit back as you go. Sit back so the knees don't lock. The pelvis is wide. And the next time you happen to be in a wide stance, we're gonna stay there, okay? I want you to push the hips way back, but push your knees forward and reach your arms out from the back of the heart. Sit way back, bend the knees a bunch. See how low I am? Wide and side to side. Keep the belly long and the throat open. Inhale, stand back up. Put your hands on your glutes. Here's the trick, you guys. Hands on your glutes for a second, just so you can learn a bit. Use your hands to literally lift the pelvic floor up, but then root the sitting bones and the thigh bones back. Now keep that as you hinge at your hips. Bend the knees significantly. Feel with your hands how the butt spreads. That's health. Reach the arms out in front. Now move the ribs side to side. Core work. Hips are wide. Belly is long. Neck is soft. Touch the ground lightly at first. Actually, inhale, have you guys stand back up just so you have a quick demo of this because I know some of you guys are new to my class. So shake it out. Watch me super quick. You're going to come back down. You're going to touch a leg. You're going to put your hands flat. Okay. And you're going to work forward and back. Okay. This is good. Dynamic power. Maybe a little bit of air time. Don't make it about holding the handstand. Make it about landing soft. Right? If you notice when I landed, it wasn't bangy. Let's try it. See how it goes. Have fun. Step wide. Sit the hips back. Open the pelvis. Reach the arms long out in front of you from the back of the heart. You're reaching. Yeah. It's like a sumo wrestler. You can do it. Touch lightly at first. Then place the hands flat. Pull forward. Pull back. Forward and back. Maybe you come to mini hops. I demoed quickly a bigger hop. You could do like a little teeny tiny hop. Eventually these might become a press-up handstand where we're not having to hop, but I find this is a great way to begin just building that ability to sit and trust the hips in an upside down shape. Yeah, Kim. Woo! So fun. So coming back to center, or yeah, coming back to a wide-legged stance. Straighten the legs. Walk over to the right foot with your hands. Take the forehead towards the right leg, and as the head goes to the right, notice that the left sitting bone may have gotten a little tucked. So effort more, left sitting bone wide. Relax your jaw. Give yourself tons of gratitude to showing up and committing to your practice today. Other leg, slowly crawl to the left foot. Twist your belly button to the left thigh. Pull the head towards your left leg. Noticing now the right side may want to tuck or twist down. So effort, right sitting bone wide and high. So really we're looking for the hips to more or less stay square to maximize the benefits of the work. Finding our way back to center. Crawl the hands forward, downward facing dog, stepping the legs back. Put your knees down on the ground. Have a seat onto the hips, heels, and then sit on the floor. And a bit of core work was requested, so let's throw that in there. Scooch to the center of your space for a boat pose. Elevate your legs and start by holding the backs of your knees. Very similar, same principles that I helped educate on earlier, was the knees push up towards the sky. Take the sitting bones opposite. So that'll help take, if you have a hyper slouch in your back, it'll really help with that. So you actually widen the pelvis. You'll notice more of a natural, healthy curve of the spine. It's not easy here, but it's doable. Good. Then if you want more, you can stay here. Otherwise, reach the arms out. Boat pose. Yeah, if you want even more, straighten the legs up. The legs could even squeeze together, helping to aid to find the midline, left and right, squeezing to the center. Let there be some shakiness, let there be some challenge, and maybe even frustration. Breathe. We're here for 4 more breaths. You can do it. 3, 2, and place the feet on the ground, reverse table. So feet bent, or knees bent, feet below you, hands reversed. So the fingers are gonna point to the front edge of your space. On an inhale, lift the chest up, let the head lay back. Get the pelvis as high as you can within reason. Take a breath. As you exhale, coming back down to the ground for 1 more set of boat pose. So again, hold the backs of the knees at first. Try to establish less tailbone on the ground, more sitting bones on the ground. It's not easy, it's worth it though. Long belly, open throat, and then maybe reach out. We're here for 5. Maybe straighten the legs. Yeah, nice, Kim. 4. Eyes soft. Feet sensitive, even though they're in the air. There's a sensitivity to the base. 3, 2, and 1. Now again, reverse table. If you want to try reverse plank, it's a little harder. The legs are going to be straight out in front, feet flexed. Hook down through your heels, and lift the hips and head back. Point your toes. Maybe the toes touch the earth. They don't have to. You're here for 3, 2. And we'll lay onto our back. So hips to the ground, back all the way down to the ground. Hold the sides of your head again, but this time the elbows can be wide. Knees in the air, extend your left leg out, twist and tap, left elbow, right knee. Other side, twist and tap. And continuing at a speed that is non-aggressive, a speed that is more sweet than it is harsh. It doesn't even have to be super high, right? Just stimulating the core consistently, make it more of a work smarter, not necessarily harder, if you will. Now, if you want a little more intensity, keep both legs straight as you do this. So switching sides, leg stays in extension. We'll do about 10 more seconds. You can do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down, knees can squeeze. You can lay on your back and just roll left to right. Cool. Now hold the backs of your knees, do a little rock up and down your spine a couple times until you're at a seat. We'll do 1 more core work exercise here I personally love. Take your feet rather wide and more forward of you. So not super close to you, have a little space. Cool. Arms above head, you can hook your thumbs a bit like a Bikram's class, okay? Inhale, lift up. You're gonna lay on your back as you exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, press the hands through the legs, full crunch, full sit up rather. And then doing a few like that. Try to utilize your climbing legs, your heel hook drag of the heels to keep power behind you, helping you out. Yeah, you guys, let's keep going, maybe 10 more. Try not to yank too much on your jaw. Let the full belly work. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2. And last one. Next time we're up, we'll stay up. We'll roll over the legs. You can hop through if you like that. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Take your time. Yeah, a little flow. Lift your right leg as you inhale. Bend your knee. Open the hip again. Wild thing, place your foot on the earth behind you. Lift your right arm long. Now staying here as you exhale, I want you to bend your knees and sit your hips down towards your heels. Inhale, rise back up, back bend, full stretch. 3 more like that. Left hand steady. Exhale, root the hips. Inhale, rise the ribs. It's a rainbow arc. The hips stay creased, the pelvis stays long. Pigeon pose as you come back through center, swivel. Take the right knee behind your right wrist, angling your shin below. Move that left leg way, way back. Inhale, lengthen up through your spine. And exhale, fold your way to the earth. You could simply go to your elbows. Personally, that's what I love. You have the range of motion, and if it doesn't agitate your knee, please feel free to place your head to the earth and stretch your arms out nice and long. Really getting into the breath. Allowing all the good work you did, all the heating up of the inner body to give space, permission to reshape the pelvic floor. Let's do 3 more breaths. Stay here, or a little twist we'll do from here. So you can come up to the hands, bend your left leg. Now this time your right hand is gonna catch it, kind of like we did in all fours. Then you're gonna go back to the earth onto your elbow, all the way down. Twist the ribs to the right, let the head tip to the left, and pull your heel towards your bum. So different than dancer's pose, where in dancers we're often trying to kick away and make a big O shape. Instead here it's more of a leg breaker shape. You're pulling the heel, bending the right elbow considerably to get the heel in towards your buns. Cool. As you come out slow, we'll push back to your downward dog. I'll show the option to do a chaturanga if you like. Alternatively, just push back and take a couple breaths. So nice. I love seeing the blue sky in Reno. We have one here too in San Diego. Left leg up. Bend the knee, hip roll. So you just open the hip up. Might wild thing it, put the left foot safely behind you. Reach the left arm above head. Stretch the belly. Now you're gonna make your wild thing dynamic today. So you're gonna sit down. We call it wilder thing. Inhale, full stretch, back up. You're like doing a squat in it. The hips stay creased. Pelvis stays. Yeah, you guys are so good. Last one. Pigeon pose. Landing the left hand. Placing your left knee behind it on the earth. Scooch, scooch right leg back. Allow yourself to descend. Softness to the shape. Ready to breath go. And additionally, try not to just like run away from the discomfort. I think that can sometimes be one of the bigger challenges, not only to pigeon, but some of these more kind of dynamic, weird, funky movement patterns that we do. As soon as it feels a little weird or uncomfortable, our human tendency is to jump right back to what we know, right? To kind of go to the comfort zone. And that's sort of a good thing. It's a good human trait to know what's safe and to move in that direction. But there can also be a limitation to that, right? If we're always spending or always allowing ourselves to just jump to the comfort immediately, we might be missing out on a really great opportunity to grow, to discover, to expand in unexpected ways. I want you to stay here, otherwise we're going to play with that twist. So again, you'll rise up first, so you're going to get high first. By the way, you might like to scooch the right knee a bit forward, it might help you. Left arm will capture that right foot. Once you have the bind, then go back down to your elbow, and then continue to twist to the left. And for some of us, we might be flexible enough that we didn't have to come up, right? And that's okay, but for the majority of people, to come up to the hands first is a helpful way to find the twist. Again, bend the knee a lot. Try to close the gap of the heel to the glute as you twist your ribs to the left. So good. Then as we release, we're just going to have a seat. So just let the left hip glide to the floor. So easy. We're going to do the splits out to the side, so facing the long edge of your space. And it can just be a low V. When I say splits, I don't mean full splits. It can just be a V shape. Rock side to side, untuck, open up your pelvic floor. So again, it's more sit bones versus tail. Hands by your sides, flex the toes up, knees up, crown up, inhale. Try to hinge at the hips, less from the back as you forward fold. Arms out in front. There might be a point where the back will round because you want to soften and chill out in it, and that's cool. Right? Just the initiation from the hips is really important for the low back to not be overwhelmed. Second piece of advice, you guys, just like your Ardha Uttanasana as your halfway lift, what's really nice in postures like these. So anytime you want to lift up a little bit, stretch the pelvic floor more back, lengthen the belly and the crown, and then enjoy the fold again. So nice. Do as many times as you want. We'll be here for about 5 full breaths, a good long hold. So we'll inhale, you guys. We'll slowly rise back up. Pull underneath your knees, pull the feet together, we'll lay on our back. So adjust yourself on your space, whatever that means, and lay down on your back. I'm just gonna adjust the sound here for a moment. Lay on your spine, relax, relax. Hug the legs in, and eventually to find your happy baby. So you'll reach for your feet or your big toes. If full happy baby is a bit much for you, you can alternate by holding the backs of the knees and still building the same shape. Keep your right leg with you, extend your left leg out, bend the right knee all the way. Wind removing pose, interlace your fingers in front of your knee and pull the knee in towards your shoulder. And give permission for that left thigh, the left thigh to soften with gravity towards the earth. Supine twist. Cross the knee over the body, potentially scooching the hips a bit to the right as you take leg left. Allow the right arm to open, and we'll take about 5 breaths here. Finding center, Readjust your hips, simply pull the left knee in and extend your right leg out, left side body. For the twist, hold your knee with your right hand. As you cross, you might like to scoot your hips a bit left as you take the knee all the way to the right and open up your left arm to the side. Big breath. So inhale back to center. Final squeeze of the knees in. You can even lift your head off the ground, bring your nose in towards your knees, a full body crunch. And the release to your Shavasana, full body stretch, extending your legs wide, your arms wide. You can use your hands to untuck your pelvic floor if you feel hyper scooped under. I'd recommend encouraging low back curve. You can take your palms, if they're not already, rotate them upward. There's some space there, and collarbones on the front body open fully. Just let go the need to react or do. Invite in the safe space of wholeness, of joy in the simplest of things. Of delight in the slowing down and the shift of the daily routine. May these inevitable shifts globally inspire us to explore new parts of ourselves, pursue new heights within us, new possibilities that potentially otherwise would not have been explored. Right, time of planting seeds, nurturing our inner soil, of setting the intention of what we want to sow into our own soil. This time is 100% yours moving forward. Cameras turn off. I keep the music playing for you to enjoy. If you have another 5, 10, 15 minutes, I strongly urge you to stay here. No need to pop up and turn off your phone or computer, whatever. I just want to thank you so much for being here. We have a noon class tomorrow with Kim. She's leading a vinyasa, noon, 60 minutes tomorrow. And there's also we just threw on some other classes online of some different climbing skills and home fitness. So take a peek at those. Pretty excited to have more offerings for us all to enjoy and stay connected. Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening. Namaste.